What's up everyone and welcome back to our channel, especially the Android fans, because the first serious Android 17 leaks are finally here. And honestly, it took long enough. For months, things were unusually quiet from Google, but over the last 24 hours, a major leak surfaced showing new interface changes, redesigned tools, and what looks like a big visual shift toward a translucent, glassy UI. In this video, I'm breaking down everything we know so far, what's changing, what actually matters, and what you should realistically expect from Android 17. And if these leaks are accurate, Android 17 might be one of the biggest visual refreshes we've seen in years, especially with Google experimenting with blur effects and glass-style interface elements across the system. So firstly, let's start with the biggest headline, the new translucent blur design. Screenshots shared by leaked sources show blur effects applied to core system UI elements, things like the volume slider, system panels, and menus. Instead of flat solid colors, Android 17 appears to layer semi-transparent surfaces with background blur and dynamic theming. If you're using a Pixel today, these areas are mostly solid color. Android 17 replaces that with a softer glass-like aesthetic that adds depth and layering to the surface. Now, I've seen some people are calling this Apple-style liquid glass, but that's not really accurate. This design trend is actually known as glassmorphism. It's been around for years and focuses on transparency, blur, and layer depth. Google seems to be refining its material design system with this approach rather than copying another platform. And personally, I hope Google includes a toggle to switch between solid and blurred styles because while it looks modern, design preference is subjective and Android is all about choice. Beyond visuals, Android 17 also introduces practical upgrades. One of the most exciting changes is a redesigned screen recording system. The leak shows a floating control pill that appears when you start recording. It lets you quickly manage audio sources, microphone input, and touch indicators. When recording begins, the control pill hides neatly in the status bar and can be reopened instantly, and none of these interactions show up in the final video, which is perfect for tutorials. There's also evidence of live annotation tools being integrated. If this works like Google Meet's annotation system, users could draw or highlight content while recording, and that's a major win for educators and creators. And Android 17 doesn't stop there. A hidden app menu reveals two new utilities, App Lock and Bubble windows. App Lock appears to allow individual apps to be secured with biometrics or a passcode, something Pixel users have requested for years. And the Bubble feature likely introduces floating mini windows for quick multitasking, similar to what many Android skins already offer. This gives Pixel devices more flexibility for running apps on top of each other's. Another interface change targets notifications and quick settings. Android 17 may introduce a split notification shade. Swiping from one side opens quick settings, while the other shows notifications in a full screen view. Importantly, the classic layout seems to remain available as soon as the option. That flexibility reinforces Android's identity, giving users control instead of forcing design changes. Also, there's been debate online about whether this design directly copies Apple, but in reality, both platforms are evolving from shared modern design trends. Glassmorphism, transparency, and layered UI aren't owned by any single company. Google is applying these ideas within its material design philosophy, focusing on motion and usability rather than pure aesthetics. In other words, Android 17 looks like an evolution, not imitation. As for timing, we're still early. If Android follows previous cycles, the developer preview should arrive soon, with the public beta within weeks. Android 17 is rumored to carry the codename Cinnamon Bun And while leaks are never final, they gave us a compelling preview of what's coming. So at the end, and so far, Android 17 looks like a blend of visual polish and functional upgrades. Glassy UI effects, better screen recording, app locking, and smarter multitasking. If you're excited about Android's future, drop a comment telling me which feature you want the most and subscribe for more ongoing Android 17 coverage as new leaks and beta builds arrive. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next update.